They say the 70s were a golden era for music, fashion, and muscle cars. But not every car from that decade was a masterpiece. Some designs were so strange, so ugly. They made people wonder what the designers were thinking. Today, we're counting down the ugliest cars of the 1970s. And trust me, number 1 will leave you speechless. Number 5, AMC Gremlin. The AMC Gremlin was introduced in 1970, and from the very start it was, well, different. American Motors Corporation wanted to create a compact, affordable car to compete with the flood of small imports coming into the US. And they did, but at what cost? Instead of designing a brand new car, AMC simply chopped the back off their Hornet sedan. The result? A stubby, awkward-looking vehicle that looked like it got into a fight with a giant pair of scissors, and lost. From the front, the Gremlin looked somewhat normal, but the back end, oh boy, it just stopped. No graceful slope, no elegant curve. Just a harsh, abrupt ending, like the designers gave up halfway through. The proportions were so odd that it almost looked like a joke. The massive front hood combined with the tiny, flat rear gave it a lopsided, heavy appearance. Almost like a car that had crashed into a wall and someone just said, "Hey, good enough." Despite its looks though, the Gremlin actually sold pretty. Well, people loved its cheap price, easy maintenance, and weird, funky charm. It even became a bit of a cult classic, showing up in movies, TV shows, and even gaining a loyal fan base. Still, when it comes to pure aesthetics, the Gremlin is definitely one of the ugliest cars to ever roll out of the 70s. And honestly, it's kind of adorable because of it. Number 4. Ford Pinto. Yes, the Ford Pinto. Infamous not only for its disastrous design, but also for its, let's say, explosive reputation. Launched in 1971, the Pinto was Ford's attempt to offer a small, affordable car to the American masses. Unfortunately, it quickly became a poster child for bad engineering and bad looks. The Pinto's design was about as boring as you could get. It had a plain, boxy shape that looked like a rejected sketch from a high school art project. Nothing about it flowed together. It had a narrow body, clunky proportions, and an awkward stance that made it seem like it was always straining to hold itself upright. From the side, the car looked stretched out in weird places and squished in others, almost like someone pulled the front and rear ends in opposite directions at the same time. The front grille was small and squinty, like the car was constantly confused or unimpressed with everything around it. The tiny wheels looked laughably small against the big, boring panels of metal. And to top it off, most Pintos were offered in those classic 70s earth tones: faded brown, avocado green, mustard yellow. You know, the colors you'd expect to find on a tired old couch at a garage sale. But let's not forget the real kicker. The Pinto was dangerously prone to exploding in rear-end collisions, thanks to poor gas tank placement. Ford eventually recalled and redesigned parts of the car, but the damage to its reputation and its design credibility was already done. Today, the Ford Pinto is a symbol of everything that went wrong with rushed production, cost-cutting, and, well, automotive style. Ugly, dangerous, and unforgettable. Number 3. Sebring Vanguard City Car. Now, if you thought the Gremlin or Pinto were bad, get ready for the Sebring Vanguard City Car. A car so bizarre it makes the others look like art pieces. Produced during the mid-70s oil crisis, the City Car was America's first real attempt at a mass-produced electric vehicle. Which sounds cool, right? Electric cars in the 70s. That's ahead of its time. Well, sort of. Because while the idea was noble, the execution was horrifying. The City Car looked like a golf cart had an awkward one-night stand with a doorstop. It was basically a bright plastic wedge on tiny wheels. No curves, no grace. Just a pure, unapologetic triangle on wheels. The front was a flat wall with tiny round headlights stuck onto it like afterthoughts. The roof was almost vertical, giving the car a hilariously top-heavy look. And the wheels. Oh man, the wheels were so small, it seemed like the car could tip over if you sneezed next to it. Inside, things weren't any better. The City Car had basically zero comfort. No radio, no power steering, no real insulation. Just a basic bench seat, a plastic dashboard, and an electric motor that could maybe, get you up to 35 miles per hour on a good day. Driving one was less like operating a car and more like piloting a very fragile shopping cart. On the bright side, it was technically eco-friendly, but with its outrageous looks, laughable performance, and limited range, the city car became a rolling joke. Today, these strange little triangles are rare collector's items. Not because they're beautiful, but because they represent a weird, brave experiment in automotive history. Still, when it comes to ugliness, the city car wears the crown proudly. Number 2, Bricklin SV1. Just when you thought the 70s couldn't get any weirder, along came the Bricklin SV1. Now, at first glance, this car had potential. Gull-wing doors, a futuristic shape, and safety features way ahead of its time. But the execution? Oh boy. The SV1's design was a clash between sports car dreams and budget nightmare. Its thick, bloated body panels gave it an overweight, clumsy look. The front end looked like it was trying to smile, but gave up halfway through. The rear was even worse, with tiny, sad-looking taillights awkwardly plopped onto a wide, plain back panel. And those famous gull-wing doors? They looked cool, until they got stuck, which they often did. Imagine being trapped inside your ugly car on a hot summer day because the doors wouldn't open. Not exactly glamorous. Plus, the SV1 came in these strange, bright colors like safety orange, lime green, and mustard yellow. Instead of looking sleek and sexy, the car ended up looking like a bloated traffic cone on wheels. Today, the Bricklin SV1 is remembered as a bold but failed experiment, part futuristic dream, part 70s design nightmare. Number 1, AMC Pacer. And finally, we can't talk about ugly 70s cars without mentioning the AMC Pacer. Nicknamed the Flying Fishbowl, the Pacer was AMC's bold attempt at creating a wide, small car. Wide it was. But small? Not so much. It looked like someone tried to stretch a compact car sideways until it was about to pop. The Pacer had massive windows. Nearly 40% of the car's body was glass. From the side, it looked like a giant jelly bean on wheels. From the front, it had that squashed, bulbous look, like it was constantly surprised to even be existing. The interior was roomy and comfortable for passengers, but it came at the cost of any dignity on the outside. And because of its weird aerodynamics and heavy body, the Pacer had terrible fuel efficiency, right in the middle of the 70s gas crisis. Not a good look, literally and figuratively. Despite all that, the Pacer developed a weird sort of cult following. It even became a pop culture icon after being featured in the movie Wayne's World. Still, when we're talking about the ugliest cars of the 70s, the AMC Pacer earns its spot proudly. And that's a wrap on some of the ugliest rides the 1970s had to offer. From fishbowls on wheels to bloated traffic cones, the 70s truly gave us some unforgettable, for all the wrong reasons, designs. If you enjoyed this trip down the "what were they thinking" lane, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more automotive throwbacks, and let me know in the comments, which car do you think was the ugliest of them all? See you in the next video.